Good morning, sir.
Let me first start with a basic definition of the term research. When we talk about research or research methodology, let's talk about. So it refers to specific procedures. It refers to specific steps that are used to identify a new set of information or analysis related to a topic. Research methodology includes all the steps, all the procedures that we use in this process. The basic purpose is to add something to the existing pool of knowledge. What is the difference between data, knowledge, information, and related terms? A data is a piece of information. A large number of pieces of information, when they are put in some proper order, we call it information. And when we are able to put some analysis to this information and draw some lesson out of it, draw some meaning out of it, draw some inference out of it, then it becomes knowledge. And when this knowledge is applied for a particular purpose, and this application involves some steps which can be learned, then it becomes a skill. And the research is the process to identify and extract knowledge from basic data. So research methodology is the basic purpose, to collect more knowledge. Now let me discuss with you. I'm sorry, my phone remained unmuted. I request all of you to keep your mobiles muted, and we'll all follow this guideline. Try to follow it. Now, what are the steps in the research methodology procedure? You all are planning to do some research. So how do you start? The first thing is a research problem which you want to address. Your objective is to address a particular problem. This is your starting point. And then what do? You prepare a set of objectives to address to this problem. And in that process, you formulate hypothesis, you formulate a set of guidelines about your research process, which we call later on as research methodology. That is the complete steps, undertake data collection, analysis, validation, and ultimately you develop your research model and present your findings. This is the steps. If I summarize them, can we say it? The first step in the research is problem identification. Second step in the research is formulation of research objectives. Third step in the research process is undertaking basic literature review and preparing research hypothesis. And next step is preparation of research design and research methodology. And next step is data collection, analysis, interpretation, inferences. And the last is preparation of your final research model and conclusion. So these are the steps that everybody has to undertake during the process of research. Now let us discuss about how to proceed further in these steps. The first is research problem. The problem should be such which is a very important problem. There can be many problems. Some problems cannot be very important problem. So no need to take up those issues in your research. Take up those issues which are very important either for the entire humanity or for entire globe or for entire universe or for uh, at least of the level of a national group or a national society or a nation. So the scale of the problem should be a very important one. If the problem that you have identified for the research is not really very important problem, then some people may ask, why did you spend your time, energy, resources in investigating this thing, which is not a very important issue? For example, there is a traffic jam in your city. Now, is that a problem for which you will undertake a research, a doctoral level research, or a graduate level research, or something like that? No. That problem could be a problem for somebody, but that is not something for which research is required. But there are many problems which require research. Can you give me an example of those problems? I now invite all of you to share your ideas, your perspective. You can speak or you can write on the chat box. Yes? Any one of you? Because identification of the problem for research is a major problem for most of the researchers, because they are not able to identify proper research problems. And they spend considerable time, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, identifying research problem. And at the, at the end, they end up taking up a research subject which is not wide enough. I'll share my own experiences to all of you. I spent about 2-3 years discussing with different scholars about what should be the area of research, what should be my research focus, what problem should I address. And it took me a long time, thanks to my mentor, Professor Anil Gupta ji of IIM Ahmedabad, who finally helped me in clearing my doubts and enabled me to focus on a research problem. And I feel very happy that I really took a research problem, took a research area which was relevant at that time, but has become more relevant today. I started studying research in the field of social entrepreneurship way back in 1991. At that time, nobody was talking about this area. Nobody. But today, everybody is talking about social entrepreneurship. And I feel so happy that I have taken up this as my doctoral research. So the problem area that I identified happened to be really a very important area, Not only in 1991 when I was doing the research, but even today, after almost 2.5 decades, so even after 3 decades, my research is relevant, my research area is relevant. And that's why I am very much thankful to my guide who enabled me to pick up the area, something. My guide didn't ask me to take up a study on a topic. Rather, my guide asked me to decide what should be the area of research myself, but gave some suggestions. And those suggestions helped me in identifying my research area. And therefore, the starting point in the research problem identification, I would like to discuss that there are a few guidelines that we should follow. The first, pick up a research topic which may remain a very important area in the years to come, or maybe in decades to come, or maybe for centuries to come. So pick up an area which is likely to remain a very important area for many, many years to come. Second, pick up a research area or a research problem which will be directly or indirectly contributing to the development of mankind, development of better ecosystem, development of environment, and development of those goals for which we all aspire. Yes, any one of you who wants to share your perspective regarding research problem identification, because this is
Sir,
the most
okay.
important starting point. Welcome, Ramesh.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So when you talk of a problem, if you're looking for a solution, whether it can be a company, government, or even any other perspective. So if the government is looking for a solution in a particular area, and then you have an opportunity there to find out what exactly went wrong and what exactly is the procedure where you need to follow
Yes,
to address the solution for the problem.
yes,
Yeah. So whether it can be company or whether it can be an institution or whether it can be a government or non-governmental agencies, even an NGO,
yes,
non-governmental organization. So
mm,
they have a problem there, and you are helping them to address the problem with the proper solution
yes,
by doing by drilling down to the topic,
yes,
right? And it can be your primary data or it can be your secondary data from the
mm,
existing journals what you find out.
yes,
But ultimate aim is to make sure that you address a problem by giving an tentative solution.
yes,
So ultimately the research is uh, you can give your suggestions and findings, but you can't give a complete solution,
yes.
right?
Wonderful.
And the findings and suggestions from what you drawn from the research can be a starting point for other researchers to start the research from the
Yes,
topic.
yes, yes.
So that is what I want to share it with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Others can also join in this discussion and contribute and submit your ideas. You can speak or you can submit your ideas by the chat box. Ramesh has very rightly said that research problem can be a problem of an organization, problem of a government, problem of a society, problem of nation, and problem of universe. And here, I would like to submit, like if you are doing a doctoral level research, the research problem should be something which the entire humanity or the entire nation is looking forward. But if you're doing a graduate study, if you are doing an internship, if you are doing your small minor project, the research problem that you can take up maybe a company's problem, maybe a city council's problem, maybe a government's problem, maybe a small problem. Fine, you can address that. But when you're talking about a doctoral level research, try to take up those problems which are of national level so that specific solutions or discussions on those issues can be carried out. Let's take up, for example, a particular company is facing a problem with regard to designing its building infrastructure, how to address pollution in this plant, in its plant. So it may hire you to prepare a solution. You undertake a research and prepare a report and give it to the company. It cannot be a doctoral level research work, but it can still be your small minor project, which you may show it for your credits requirement to your institution where you're studying, displaying that this is how you have contributed to solution of a particular problem for an organization. So your contribution is credited, your contribution is very important. But when we look into different level, like if you're doing a doctoral work, or if you are doing a MPhil dissertation, or if you're doing a master's dissertation, or if you're doing a graduate study, so the type of problems that you address would be, I mean, different. If you are planning to undertake your PhD, doctoral program, then what kind of problems can be addressed? So here I would like to offer a few suggestions that for doctoral level research, you should take up those problems which are of international importance. Now you may ask, what are the major problems at international level, which can be addressed at national or international level? So here I would like to offer a few suggestions that for international problems, look at the most important issues like sustainable development goals. There are 17 sustainable development goals, and each of them are important challenges for the entire mankind. These goals, like the goal to end the poverty, eliminate poverty in all its forms in different countries, or to eliminate deprivations, hunger, or to create a better healthcare setup, or to create a better educational support system for the entire world. So these could be some important areas of research which are of importance at the national level. Or you might, if you are from pure science background, I mean from physics or chemistry or mathematics or from environmental science, then you might be interested in developing a new technology or a new solution to address some of these very important issues or development of a new technology which can help the entire mankind. So these could be some of the areas of research. If you go through the research PhD reports which are available on InflibNet website, plenty of PhD dissertation reports are available on InflibNet website. You may scroll through, you may go through them, you may identify their topic, their important areas of study, what is their contribution, you can go through them. And if you are a student of masters or if you're a student of a graduate program, then you may go through the dissertations available related to your program and find out, go through them and find out their topic, their relevance, their scale, which will help you in deciding your own field of work. So this is how you have to start. This is the starting point, how you have to start with. The first thing is identification of a research problem. That is the starting point. There are plenty of problems for your, I mean, we are fortunate that there are plenty of problems for researchers to address. If you look at environmental issues, plenty of environmental related question problems are there. If you look at, management, plenty of problems related to management are there. If you look at governance, plenty of problems are there. So you can address those problems. But again, keep in mind the time limit, the resource constraint. If you take up an area, a research problem, which might require tremendous amount of time, tremendous amount of resources, which probably you may not be having. So better to leave this problem for somebody else to study. In future, somebody will come up and solve that problem. But you put your energy on something which within your resources, within your limitations, within your time and resource constraint, you can address. So this is also very important. So keep in mind your time and resource constraint. Another thing could be like you might develop a group, especially at graduate level or postgraduate level study. You might be able to develop a small group of researchers, and those people can collectively address a problem, taking up one issue on by 1%, something like that. So that can help you in addressing a very important problem from multiple dimensions. So this could be one such area. So think about the problem. If you are a doctoral student, I will suggest you pick up a research problem which may remain very much relevant in many years to come. One of my students did her doctoral study on CSR, corporate social responsibility, about 15 years back. So she started the work on CSR at a time when CSR was not really very important. Later on, CSR became very important. Government made it mandatory for every company to allocate some part of profit towards CSR funds. Now it has become very, very important issue. And now I realize that when she had started the work 15 years back on research on issues related to CSR, at that time that was just an emerging sector. And today it has become such an important area of study. Her research has become even more relevant today than what it was when she had undertaken 15 years back. So to pick up an area of study which is an emerging sector, because if you pick up an emerging, what are the emerging sectors now? Any one of you can talk about? What are the sectors which are emerging sectors now? For example, green economy, green technology. These are emerging sectors. So green technology, if you are doing a research in green technology, then preferably undertake your research in green technology. If you're doing research into economy, then preferably undertake your research on green economy, circular economy. If you are doing research on any field related to maybe environment, then probably, I mean, sustainable development could be an emerging area, because these are the areas which are emerging areas. That means these sectors will remain important for many years to come. And therefore, if you contribute to this sector, which is emerging sector, your contribution will be relevant for many, many years to come. How will it contribute? Many people will read your contribution. They will cite your contribution. Nowadays, research scholars are valued on the basis of citation. If my research work is cited by 20 people, then I get credit, I get more and more value. If my research is cited by 5,000 people or 10,000 people subsequently, then I get even more credit, more value, more appreciation. So a professor with higher citation score will be valued, and therefore you should also aspire to undertake a research in a sector where if you write something, more and more people are going to cite your work. More and more people will give example of your study during their study in their literature review. More and more people should put your references in their section of bibliography. So what should we do for that? Become a pioneering researcher. Pioneering researcher means somebody who introduces a subject, somebody who is the first person to start the study. Marketing management was not very popular until Philip Kotler started writing about it. So he wrote so extensively, so confidently, so convincingly, that marketing management became a very important subject in management. And today, everybody who is doing a research gives example of Mr. Philip Kotler, gives references of Philip Kotler. So this is my lesson. This is my discussion to you. This is how we can summarize today's discussion. What we have discussed, let us summarize quickly. We have just started fundamental discussion about what is the meaning of research, what are the basic steps in research, and we are still discussing the first important point, first important step in the research, that is problem identification. How should we identify research problem? What should be the area of our research problem? So we'll continue our discussion in our next classes. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, sir.